Bouncing Rabbit. Welcome to another Saturday Pagan Perspective. This week's video is a day late because Feather and I have still been a little bit under the weather, and I felt like I needed another day of rest to recover and be really at my best to do a video. This week's topic is Mojo bags. Now, there are several different spiritual traditions that use a bag full of items as a talisman or amulet. There's the Native American medicine bag or medicine bundle. I think Scissor mentioned a spell bag, what she calls a spell bag, which is more of a Wiccan tradition. Feather makes what she calls a charm bag, which consists of a large number of crystals and stones that she chooses for the person based on their astrological chart, which she casts for them. The Mojo bag, or Gris-Gris, is specifically from the Hoodoo tradition. Now, Hoodoo, as opposed to Voodoo, is an African-American magical tradition. It's really not a religion. A Hoodoo practitioner, conjure man, root worker can practice any number of religions. Most root workers are some variety of Protestant Christians. But the path is not so much a religion as it is a collection of spell working and a method of doing spellcraft. I learned about Mojo bags about 2 years ago from KrazyBoy. Now, KrazyBoy is a brujo, a Mexican witch, but he has studied and has incorporated quite a bit of the Hoodoo tradition into his practice. About 2 years ago, I was taking a new job, and I discovered that my boss, my immediate supervisor, and the folks all the way up the line, the landlords of the building that the business was in, were all very fundamentalist Christians. And I was concerned that if they discovered that I was not, that my employment days would be quickly over. And so I asked for KrazyBoy's help. He gave me instructions, very specific instructions, in how to construct what he called an enchantment bag. I would call it more glamoury. The idea is that by carrying this bag, people would see me as I really am. A nice person, an ethical person, a hard worker. And over the last 2 years, that's exactly what's happened. I've had a number of people tell me what a fine Christian man I am, and everybody just assumes that I must be a Christian because I am exhibiting many of the qualities that a Christian probably should, or I guess really any person should. So I'm going to splice into the end of this my video that I made about 2 years ago and show you exactly how I made the video. There are going to be links to KrazyBoy's video on the underbar. I would say a couple of the things that I've learned that I find different about the Hoodoo tradition than the Neo-Wiccan tradition that I'm more accustomed to. When you do magic, you are not so much visualizing it as energy, that you're charging something, but that you are making a living thing. The bag is not a battery, a repository of spiritual energy, so much it is a living being, a living spirit, and it has to be fed regularly. KrazyBoy asked me to feed my Mojo bag. Oh, here's the Mojo bag. I carry it on my person, usually in my pants pocket, and that's about as close as it needs to get. I've carried with me every day to work for the last almost 2 years. Okay, about feeding it. I have some stuff that is iron filings. If you go to an herberia, Comedia para Iman, and I hope I'm pronouncing that close enough, it basically means food for magnet. And I open the bag once a month on new moon and drop in a pinch of magnet food. The other thing that I learned in making a Mojo bag that's different from the Neo-Wicca ways of doing magic is that rather than drumming or chanting or dancing or focusing, raising power, and then releasing it in a burst of energy, it's the whole process of getting the different spell components together, locating them, bringing them together, and adding them layer upon layer to the bag. That's also a little bit more the way that hoodoo magic works. It's not so much that you do a spell one time and there's this burst of magical energy that accomplishes what you want to accomplish, as it is a slow wearing away, a slow moving step by step, push by push, as the spell is repeated. So, without further ramblings, let me go directly to a couple of years ago video. Hope you enjoy it. Contact Crazy Boy if you need help, because he is much more the expert on this than I am. Till next time.
This is my first, so I'm not staging this. I'm doing it as you see it, more or less. Well, I did it a few hours before you saw it. But anyway, this is the real deal. I've grounded, centered, cast a circle, invoked my two patron deities, Caradwin and Kernonos, and so here we go. This is the stuff. I've got a yellow Mojo bag. I've got some of what he calls fern seed. These are the spore cases from the underside of fern leaf. I've got some devil shoestring. It's been soaked in what's called war water. Now, I didn't know what war water was, so I went to one of my local herberias and I bought some. This stuff was $15, which I think is a little pricey. It smells a whole lot like strawberry Kool-Aid and vodka, so I don't really know what it is. Crazy Boy suggested I make some more water. I take some nails, put them in some water, and let them rust. So this is homemade war water. So what I did is I mixed the two war waters together and put in the devil's shoestring and let it soak for 3 days. So this is my soaked devil's shoestring. Let's see, need a lodestone. This is basically magnetite. It's a naturally magnetic rock, and I'm putting the lodestone in some spring water. And I want to visualize the lodestone charging the water and attracting positive energy. So now that it's attracted the energy, I'm going to drink the water and basically consume the positive energy. Okay, I take my devil's shoestring that has been soaked in the war water and put it in the Mojo bag, which is maybe easier said than done. Charge it and visualize my intent. Visualize the people at work seeing me as I am, hardworking, honest, basically a nice person. Put in the lodestone to attract positive energy to me. With lodestones, you have to feed them. It's a little bit like the idea that we Wiccans use of charging or recharging something on a monthly basis. I'm going to take some iron filings. It's basically powdered iron. Put in the Mojo bag. Shake it up so that the lodestone can attract the iron filings and be fed. I'm going to add the other herbs, the fern seed. I wasn't able to find any mistletoe and didn't go back to the herberias once again to buy some. I've been to 3 herberias and one small magical shot. So really the gathering of all this stuff is almost part of the ritual. So I've been working on this stuff for over a week. Okay, now I want to make it mine by spitting in it. See how long I can keep my candles lit in this breeze. The orange candle, snuff it. That puts the energy of the orange candle into the Mojo bag. Take the yellow candle for the Mojo bag. Snuff it. Now what I want to do is to tie the strings together in a bow knot. The reason for this is I'm going to need to open it each new moon and feed the lodestone. Bow knot's easier to do when you're not on camera.